welcome. I'm Domina Delapai, Mistress Sasha Storm, wanting to talk about an incident that occurred in Jamaica. It seemed in a remote part of the country, kind of like village people, country people. I know what country people are like. I know on my small island, they tend to know each other, as opposed to the city. Let's say we have the hood in the city. People come and go all the time, and a lot of bad things happening. And the police really can't and don't do much. And bad guys, bad men get away with all sorts of things. And the people suffer. The people struggle and suffer, the ones who live in those areas. And they just need some justice. There is no justice for them. There is no peace for them, because you have these demonic spirits embodying those so-called bad men. Bad men who terrorize their communities, terrorizing mothers, women, the elderly, the children. Little children afraid. I was one of those little children afraid because my mother took up with one of those terrorists. It was, they call him red skin. That's what they called us. See? The red Indians. Funny, because my mother was red skinned. And I know the difference in the skin tones. Not just because of the white man, but also because of the white man. Because we were first dark complected. We were black skinned people. Very dark skinned. I was a dark skinned child. And my mother came from that Indian background, family, Indian on both sides. When I say Indian, I mean Indian from India on my paternal grandfather's side, and Indian indigenous from my grandmother's side. And it seemed as though that Indian from India looked down on the Indian from the island, from the land, from the area, the indigenous. They have, displaced us and placed us in areas where we were not necessarily welcomed. And they sometimes would give us land when they didn't give the others land. And so you have this inbred animosity, hostility, hatred. You just hating people you don't even know why. Not me though. I always embraced everyone. I embraced especially those who were doing good, who chose to do good, who were not bad men. I never like a bad man, because I remember a bad man coming to our home. Bad men are cowards. He only came in the night, past midnight, between the hours of like 2:30 a.m. and 4 o'clock. He was there throwing rocks on our house. They were galvanized iron roof, and we're sleeping soundly, only to be awakened by a crash in the middle of the night, because a rock landed on the house, and another rock landed on the house, and another rock. This guy's outside pelting stones, pelting rocks on our house. Who's in the house? Me, little skinny mini me with my glasses, scared as hell. My little brother, and my grandmother. My grandmother, who has to get up in the morning and go to open her shop and her bakery. And my mother, the red-skinned mother of mine, and her red-skinned boyfriend coming to the house to terrorize us. So I know what a terrorist is. Anyway, I read the story yesterday. I was so happy Imagine. I was happy to see a story from Jamaica where the people took the power. They took back their power from that terrorist. Apparently, there was a bus driver who lived in their community. He had some beef with some crazy man. They call him Killer Killer. That was his name. Imagine a name like that. Imagine a name like that. How many people has he killed before and gotten away with? Killer Killer. That means he's killed and he killed again. He killed twice at least. Killer Killer. I said, what the hell kind of name is that? Well, he had some dispute with a bus driver who lives in a community. Now, if you're the bus driver in a small community in the Caribbean, everybody knows you, especially those who don't drive and have to take the bus. So people need you. People are going to like at least or love you. So they are protected by the people. Killer Killer is feared. Killer Killer is not welcome here. But Killer Killer decide whatever beef he have, and I don't know because I'm not there, I'm not even Jamaican, but whatever beef he have with the bus driver, he gonna go into their community and he gonna Killer Killer. He's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill that bus driver. Well, I guess the bus driver must have told his whole bus full of people that Killer Killer was gonna come to their neighborhood. And Killer Killer was going to kill him. And if Killer Killer kill him, where's their bus driver? They need their bus driver. So they waited for Killer Killer. Killer Killer come. And Killer Killer come. He's going to come and kill. He's going to come and kill. And them Jamaican people in that area, in that community, they set upon Killer Killer and kill him. They kill him ras. They kill him rasclot. They killed him. They murdered him. And I've never been so happy to hear a story in my life. To hear that these people took back their powers, took back their community, took back their home, and saved their bus driver. I love to hear that story. I was like a little girl hearing that. It was like a little girl who was being terrorized by a killer. So yeah, you hear stories of Jamaica. It's these little assholes like Killer who give the Jamaican people a bad name. And they got to be taken care of because the police are not doing the job. The police are ineffective. The people have the power. The people are the power. So, I guess I was inspired to do this. I have not recorded in a while. But yesterday somebody told me a story about how his little brother had been raped. And I call it raped by a woman, an older woman. A grown woman raped his little brother. Because women are talking about rape, always men and rape. And yeah, men do rape women. Men rape women. As a woman, I'm going to tell you, I've been raped, but I wasn't raped by a man. Well, that's debatable, right? Because what's happening is, I think they're so wicked. They're changing their identities. They're changing their genders. Who the hell tell you can do such a thing? Well, it's the LGBTQIA2SS. It's the freaking alphabets. It's the gays. It's the... Well, you know what they are, who they are. Yes. They are coming out. It's the month of June. It's Pride, right? They're coming out with Pride. And I have my guys that I talk to. I talk to guys because women, for the most part, just, they want men. And I'm not a man, so especially at my age. And I put it out that I'm not a lesbian, so they don't really want to be bothered with me because they're looking to get their pussies stroked, and I'm not here for that. So that I'm hearing the stories from the guys, and the guys are upset. And I love those guys who are so upset because they are sick and tired of hearing these women always crying about women do this and women. They're not, because these same women are not talking about the women who do things to the children. So this guy talked about his little brother who was raped by a woman. And then it was like too much for me because he told me that story. And next thing I know, in my inbox is an indigenous guy who's black, dark-skinned. And he's from my island. And he has that indigenous hair. You don't identify him as indigenous. And he's been laughed at by the lighter complected indigenous people. He's been laughed at. I've seen on websites, they're laughing at him, calling him names. But he is not. You can see he's not African. And I say that with no disrespect to African people. They displaced us all. But we've been all around the world. We've been all over the world. Black people found everywhere. So we are all related. It's just that they've taught us to compartmentalize, to separate. And we have been separated. And they've taken away our customs and language. And they've taken so much from us, our lands, and the love we have, we don't, for the most part, I'm not going to speak for myself, but I'm seeing the black people don't have love in their hearts. They don't have love for themselves and they don't have love for other black people. I have love for everyone. I don't care what color you are, what race you are. I have the love for you. But unfortunately, the non-black ones, I can see they have no love for me. I can see they have no love for me because they look at me with disdain and they look at me with a sense of superiority. So that's what Dwight, D-W-I-G-H-T, the white man has done on this planet. He sowed seeds of discord and chaos, and still you black people continue to follow in his shit steps. You want to be like him. You want to have the big house because Massa had a big house on the plantation. The plantation was a big house. There was Massa with overseers beating the black people called slaves. And today, the progeny, generations after, want to be just like Massa, terrorizing the black people. Black people terrorizing black people. Black men and black women terrorizing little black children. I know my brother was sexually molested by some woman. I don't know who it is. Okay? This guy, I was triggered, I guess, because he told me about what happened to his little brother, and it happened and nobody did anything because nobody knew anything. And the story didn't come out till much later. And then in my inbox, there is that indigenous guy telling me about Kathleen Wynne. Kathleen Wynne raped him as a child. Could that be our Kathleen Wynne? Is it the same? How many Kathleen Wynnes are there? Of the LGBT community who was a leader here in Canada. Listen, don't try to come for me. I'm telling stories. I'm here to tell stories. I'm a storyteller. So there is Kathleen Wynne and there's the little indigenous boy. And the boy is kind of, when he talks, he knows a lot. He knows a lot about a lot because his memory is there. Whereas my memory was suppressed. It's like bad things happened to me and I suppressed the memory until the age of 27, when it all came back as a flashback. And then it dawned on me, yes, that did happen. But I was actually one of the few more lucky ones who didn't have so much trauma. I did not have as much trauma as this guy who is in my inbox now. He's a man in his 50s. And he's telling me that, and there's a whole bunch of people raped him when he was a boy. It's a whole bunch. But the last was, he said Kathleen Wynne. I was like, holy shit. Then she was a leader of Ontario. She was a premier. Those are pretty serious claims he's making. But who the hell is going to listen to him? Who is going to tell his story? And who is going to address Kathleen Wynne about her possible role in this, right? Because we were just black children being terrorized. and we are black people being terrorized, and no one cares. And even the police that they have supposedly there for law and order, they terrorize us too, because right after he's telling me in my inbox, I come across another story. About two brothers, and it's a woman, it's a white woman in a group, I mean a local group, and she's saying she wants help because she knows the story. She knows these two brothers, and they're telling a story about how they were raped. They were raped by a police officer. They were raped by a policeman. And they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go, where to turn. Man, these stories, there are too many of these stories. We are being victimized. We are being targeted. Our children are being raped by these monsters in authority. You know, this is past Father's Day. It is a picture I noticed. My sister who I met, my sister who I love, my sister from my father's side. She posted a picture of my father in his police uniform, his police hat. It had to do with the royal family. That was the crest on his cap. It's funny because when I was in BDSM and as a domina, and even just for costume, I sometimes wore a police captain's cap because that was the role of my father. That's what I saw him as. But in the picture, he looked so young, and he looked a little chubby. He looked a little well-fed, actually. I remember my father's uniform always being tight because he was getting bigger and bigger, and the women loved him. And I wonder how many of these women, because my father is said to have, well, my sister said my father has 53 or 56 children. They last counted, and they are accounted for. But a cousin from England, when I met him on the island, Dominica, he told me, your father has about 200 children all over the world. I said, wow, 200. It was staggering. That's crazy. How can you have stuck your dick into so many different pum-pums and left this many children behind? So he's out of order too. But the question is, did those women or young girls, because my mother was a teen mom, did he go after young girls and rape them? Or did they have a thing for him because he was in a uniform? I really don't know, because those women from that time, they never talk about anything. They keep everything hidden, everything a secret. So if there's any sexual abuse happening to them or to their children, nobody knows. Well, people know, but nobody says a word about it. And that's why I'm talking. We have to speak up, and we have to not just speak up, but do something about it. Don't let all these bad people get away with doing bad things. No, we cannot allow that. We cannot continue to allow that to happen. That's just madness. And the so-called powers that be having us in this state, oh, you're under lockdown. You can't go anywhere. You got to be vaccinated. We're going to put a shot in you. We don't know what's in it. Well, we know what's in it, but you can't know what's in it because we're not telling you what's in it. Just so you may die. You may be paralyzed. Your children may be paralyzed. They're going to get an enlarged heart, and they have all these side effects of all their pharmaceuticals. And it doesn't matter. The scientists say, the doctors say, epidemiologists say, virologists say, listen to them. Well, we say we were here first, and we had our medicine. And guess what? If our medicine failed, we died. And that was okay too, because what's the difference? You're killing us. You're killing us. Just like the guy went to the village or a community in Jamaica with the intent to kill a bus driver. And he was killed. And that's the way the law should be. That's the way it ought to work. If you come into our community as a terrorist, you must die. You must die by the hands of the people. That's law as I see it. Not this nonsense. You call the police. The police don't do anything. The police don't do anything, and sometimes the police are also rapists. I remember a police officer tried to take me in one day for nothing. I was riding my bike on the sidewalk. It happened to be a boy's bike, which is it is legal to ride that size tire on the sidewalk, as he later told me. But at the time, he was hell-bent on taking me in. I was afraid that I could have been raped because I was wearing a tennis outfit, and I look cute in my outfit. I wasn't trying to look cute for him. I was riding my bike. It was warm weather. But what he did, he placed me at a place, a site, a location where it's like, he said I was at this place where there's known to be drug dealings and drug happenings. And I was nowhere near where he said I was. He lied. Look, we gotta have adults who are just more responsible. You are a grown person. You're doing a job. You're a police officer. You don't have to want to take me in because I'm riding my bicycle on the sidewalk. And the reason I was riding my bicycle on the sidewalk is to get off the road because I noticed the cars were coming. When I heard a car coming, I would get on the sidewalk. But this guy, he just wanted to take me away that day. There are too many men and women doing too many bad things to young people. I was a young person at the time, and I was terrorized to such a point that I suffered PTSD. For like 3 weeks after I could not move my neck. I had pain in my neck. The police was a pain in my freaking neck. And I could do nothing about it. Like the world, the earth, Mother Nature, our mother is tired of all the shit you're doing. You know, it's just too much. You cannot continue to follow in the shit steps of these people who came, and they are proud to be conquerors. They are proud to be terrorists. They sailed the 7 seas, and Christopher Columbus landed 1492, and he saw black people. He saw dark-skinned indigenous people. He called them Indians because he thought he was in India, and he called them Indians. They were dark-skinned, and then they named them after that. So many different names, right? Colored, African American, Negro, Black, Indian. They just keep naming us, right? And so we don't even know who the hell we are or what the hell we are. So when one says they are Indian, the other one says, no, you're not, you're African. But then I say, look at the hair, look at the hair. Africans don't have that type of hair. They don't. And then they talk about the Ethiopians. Well, look, the Ethiopians were fucking the Arabs. What do the Arabs look like? Guess what? Indians. We are all brothers and sisters. But they have us hating each other because they've decided these ones are superior to those ones. And then you have a light-skinned black girl, black in quotes, telling me that she thinks there's nothing wrong with Don Lemon being on CNN. And behind him is a caricature. The so-called folk art that is very expensive. She says, you know, they're very expensive. As is that supposed to mean a damn thing? It's grossly portraying black people, especially black women and black men of a darker complexion. And they are like to be laughed at. They are comedy. It's comedic. You see it and you laugh. Ha ha ha. Look at the mammy. Look at the mammy. And I say to her, because she wants her right, she says, I grew up with that. My mother had a whole collection. You know, she sounded like the white man who came to me. He wanted to be my slave. Imagine that. Jewish white man. I say white because they're from Poland. All these Jews, they say they're Jewish. They're from Poland. They're from Russia. They are not from Israel. They're not from Bethlehem. They're not from that region. But they placed themselves there. They occupied. They settled. They're settlers. The world is out of order. The world has to get back on track. And, you know, if you all don't like it here, go take your spaceships and go to other places. Go and meet the aliens. Okay? I've never seen one, so I don't know about that. Because, you know, I'm a very simple-minded person. My feet firmly on the ground. But guess what? I've ascended. I'm high up in the sky. I'm pi. Pi is in the sky as well as on the ground and everywhere in between. Because I'm here as a very good, positive, uplifting, motivating, inspiring energy. I'm an energy of love. You see, in my heart is love. In my heart, the Most High is always with me, which is why I cannot watch your TV and think that it's okay. There's a lot of shit on the TV and all of you, you're eating TV instead of eating what you need to eat. All that was given to us on this planet. Y'all are having stuff, processed foods, with all the chemicals, all the bad things, dyes and things that make you crazy, that make you sick, that make you evil, that make you wicked. That's what you're eating. You're drinking alcohol and you're taking drugs in your veins. You're taking it in your nose. Some of you putting drugs in your anus. You're also taking penis in your anus. And you call yourselves men. You have a dick in your mouth, sucking off a guy. You call yourself a man. I'm a gay man. Really? Really? Where I come from, they call you an anti-man. Because a man is supposed to be with a woman, creating more children so that we can continue to grow. Instead, y'all are engaging in all sorts of behavior that is really screwing up the minds of the children. And little child is saying, I'm transgender. How the hell are you transgender at the age of 4? Something happened to you. Listen, I went to that. I thought I was a queer I'm a queer person, I say that. I keep that title, queer. Gender is fluid, sexuality is fluid. We go in and out, depending, I believe, on the environment, circumstances, experiences. So if you were a little boy and you were raped, you see, I had a client, he was RCMP. He was with the RCMP. And he told me he was a little boy and he was raped by a priest. But his brother had also been raped by the same priest. And when the priest raped him, he went and told his parents. And his father, so into the church, his father beat him. He said, how dare you tell lies about the priest? How dare you, you naughty bad boy? Go and apologize to the priest. And the priest would rape him, and he told his parents, thinking he's going to get saved. When he was sent to apologize to the priest raped him again. And now he's an adult. And coming to me, he wants me to strap on a dildo and basically have my way with him. It's like I'm reenacting this trauma that he had as a child. He eroticized this. And he thinks it's okay. I bet you he can't tell his children that he does that, right? They're doing things in secret. If you're doing things in secret, that means it's not okay, guys. It's not okay. And then from my artificial peen, he goes to the real thing. Because that's what they do. It's graduation, right? You start at this. You start with a finger, then you get a butt plug, then you get a this and that. It graduates in size. And then you get the real thing. Ooh. That's where the transgender come in, right? And somehow we've made that okay because they've empowered themselves. I'm not saying they should not be free to live and free to be. What they should be free to do is think. Think, really. And then they'll say, well, you know, in indigenous communities, they were two-spirited people. And they became two-spirited people because they were being diddled from a young age too. In the indigenous communities, you had older men and older women fucking little kids too. And it fucked up their heads. It fucks up our heads. Come on. I don't think we were created to be this. And you know, when a man, he's born a male, he becomes a man and he insists that he's a woman. And he wants to dress as a woman. But here's the thing, when he dresses as a woman, he wants to outdo a woman. He wants to be a woman. So they'll always say, the same freaking women who are supposedly heterosexual, they'll say, well, he looks better than most of you women. Oh, really? All I had to do to be a woman is wake up. I woke up a woman this morning. I didn't have to put on a fake tits, fake ass. I didn't have to get my body mutilated, augmented. I didn't have to put on clothing of a woman, because now it's a construct that you have to fashion, by gay men. Gay men dictate what we wear. And when a man decides he's a woman, he's the most flamboyant. He's the most outrageous. And he's such an attention whore. Look at me, I'm a woman. And he's insisting he's a woman. And you're going to try that shit around me, and I'm going to let you know you're not. But if you are so effed in the head, I'm going to accept your trans identity. And I'm going to treat you as the girl that you want to be. But don't you ever try to usurp me. Don't. Because I can see all of your flaws. I can see you were a woman, you were a girl, you had big, big boobs. You had them chopped off. Boom, you're a man. I saw a boy named Sue become like so many different names, she just was not comfortable in her skin. And even less so when she became a him. Coming to the restaurant where I worked in the strip club, sitting at a table, and under our feet with a checkered flooring, checkers, black and white squares of the Masons, because I believe the Greek guy who owned the building had been a Mason. And then the Polish Jews came with all the monies from Europe, and they bought so much of the land along the Young Street area. That's very, very high priced property, honey. And still they don't want to pay their workers, and still they don't want to give the money to the cleaner so they can clean the place. The place is overrun by rodents and rats. It's disgusting. It stinks. They don't want to clean it. They just want to keep collecting money, man. And, and then he comes like a pimp in his leopard print fur, how do you say, penny loafers. The owner of the strip club, the Jewish man, the fake Jew. Because they're not real Jews, are they? No, real Jews don't come from Poland. Stop it. Just stop it. And he looked down on me. And because the guy from the strip club up the street, whose dick he probably sucks, complained about me because, I told him off. I said some things and I left a nasty note because of how I was treated that day. And I was let go from the strip club in the nastiest ways possible. It was awful. That's what people do when they have power. They treat other people like shit. And here you have all these black people want to be like these rich people. Why? So they can treat other people like shit. I tell you, let's take back our communities and kill them. Kill them ourselves. Because if we don't, they're going to kill us. Because that's what they do. Look, now they're in Africa. They shut down Uganda. So they can push these freaking vaccines on people. Right? We don't need their vaccines. But you see, they need our money. They need to make money off us. Our bodies are there for their profit. We have to stop that. We got to stop these people. That's evil, and it has to stop. And you know what happens? They have children and they have grandchildren, and they just continue that shit. Don't try to be like them. Stop watching their TV. Stop watching their TV. Stop watching. They show you what they're going to do to you in the movies. Imagine, why do they keep doing that slave movie? Every time you blink, there's another slave movie. And you're all watching that slave movie. And you're all believing you're slaves. I'm not no damn slave. Nobody in my family was a slave. My family members were not slaves. My ancestors were not slaves. Okay? So I'm not following that. And that's why you hate me. Because I'm supposed to be a slave like you. Why the hell should I be a slave? We had land. You can work the land. My grandmother worked the land. She wasn't lazy. Then she did her business. She sold food. This is what we do. We feed, we nourish. Some of you just want to go around dealing drugs, selling sex, selling children, selling bodies, selling organs, killing people, taking their organs, abducting children. Little children just go missing. The mothers are frantic. Nobody can help her. The police certainly can't help her. And in some cases, the police are involved. Yeah. I need to just stop. I'm going to stop for now, okay? But hey, it's full moon tonight. I woke up around 3 o'clock. I'm like, hey, it's the witching hour. Let me do some witchcraft. And this is my witchcraft. I speak truthfully. I tell stories. So, hey, call it satire for all I care. I'm not a journalist. I'm not any of your titles. I was just born this way. I was born this way to do good. I don't know what my father did, but he has a lot of children on this planet, and I don't think that's good. But I am not a police officer, but I embody what a police officer ought to be. A person of integrity, a person of strength, of courage, a person of love. Police should go into the neighborhoods with love, not with what they do, the posture. Because they have the police, you have the white police policing black people again. And they're raping our children. They're raping our children, man. They take them in the cruiser, they take them somewhere, and they rape them. And that's not okay. And your people who become premier and prime minister, they also into the children. You have to watch these people on the top. They have the power and they use it in the worst ways possible. It's not powerful what they do. To take advantage of children, to traumatize, terrorize, to rape, sexually abuse children. That's not powerful. It's cowardly. It's cowardly and it's sick. It is sick. So yes, thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I am Domina Della Pie, Mistress Asha Storm. Yes, it's a full moon. Now let me go do some witchcraft.